and the spin rate on the A1 wasn't high enough to stabilise it.
Which is why we're saying this video we're about to show you is quite wishful thinking in a lot of ways.
So we've managed to locate and find several quite hard to find videos produced by the British Army in kind of the late 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
The one we're going to discuss today came in around the introduction of the SA-80 or the L85 family, and it's to do with barrier penetration with the projectile fired from that rifle system. So Gaj, there's a few weird things about it there.
Yeah, so again, these videos have been shown up until the 90s, and I remember being shown these by a guy in the training team. And I think they initially came out to reassure all those old sweats that had swap off from a 7.62 to the SA-80 family, and we're going, oh, it won't stop anyone, it won't drop anyone. There were all these rumours that it was too light a round. So using the round you see in this video, it actually looks quite tasty. But I think the reality is that people still needed 7.62 because originally the GPMG was supposed to disappear from section level.
So the GPMG, which was the 7.62 belt-fed machine gun, the
originally
FN mag, was removed from section level.
Originally you'd have a gun group
and
you'd have a rifle group. Now that changed to being two independent rifle elements that had an LSW light support weapon. Now a lot of people thought the LSW was a replacement light machine gun. It's not, it's a light support weapon. It's more accurate at range, it can put slightly more fire down. But with the reality, I think, as we found, was that many units really did need that extra sustained fire, did need that stopping power. So while in doctrine the GPMG was gone from section, I think in reality it was still fairly present in a lot of units.
Enjoy the video, let us know what you think. It's quite dry, British Army style, but I think pretty informative.
Yeah, the best thing for me about it is if you play Airsoft, and we are an Airsoft channel, you'll realise this from this, that every bit of cover you hide behind would have got you killed in reality.
The introduction of the SA-80 weapon system will also mean the use of 5.56 caliber ammunition. The 5.56 ammunition used by the British Army is based on the new SS-109 round. To have thorough confidence in any weapon system, it is important to understand the effects and capabilities of the ammunition it fires. Therefore, the aim of this video is to illustrate the penetration effects and capabilities of the small arms ammunition used by SA-80. To help highlight its penetration power, small arms ammunition 80, SAA-80, was compared with certain other in-service ammunition. Also, various types of cover likely to be encountered by the infantrymen, including man-made building materials, were attacked. Before showing the penetration power of SAA-80, the composition of the round itself should be looked at in more detail. It can also be compared with the current Soviet ammunition, the 5.45 round. This will help in understanding why SA-80 has such significant penetration in relation to its size and weight. The 5.56 SA-80 round consists firstly of a copper casing. Inside this casing is a steel tip, which enhances stability and penetration. Behind this tip is a soft lead backing. SAA-80 has a muzzle velocity of 940 meters per second and is half the weight of the present NATO 7.62 ammunition. The SA-80 round should not be confused with or thought of in the same light as the American 5.56 ammunition fired by the Armalite. The Armalite uses the M193 round, which is of a different composition. It simply consists of a gilding metal case surrounding a strengthened lead alloy core. As you can see, it is smaller than SA-80 and is indeed lighter. It does not possess the same quality of lethality and penetration inherent to the SA-80 round. During trials, it produced results similar to that of the Soviet 5.45 ammunition. However, it should be remembered that both ammunitions are interchangeable and can be fired from either the Armalite or SA-80 systems. The Soviet 5.45 round consists also of a gilding metal case. Inside this case is a lead sleeve surrounding a mild steel core. There is a lead plug positioned in front of this steel core. Notice also the hollow cavity at the nose of the round. The Soviet 5.45 round weighs slightly less than SA-80 and has a reduced muzzle velocity of 900 meters per second. The higher muzzle velocity and steel tip of SA-80, rather than the lead plug and hollow cavity of 5.45, allows for greater penetration. This will become abundantly clear later, especially when hard targets are attacked. During trials, penetration targets were engaged from a distance of 25 meters by three types of ammunition. Firstly, by SA-80, fired from the light support weapon. Secondly, by Soviet 5.45, fired from the AKS-74. And both ammunitions were compared with NATO 7.62, fired from the SLR. 7.62 was chosen as it represents a round proven to be extremely powerful with good penetration qualities. Therefore, the old SLR system would be a good yardstick with which to measure SA-80's performance. In assessing and comparing their performance, a number of soft and hard targets were engaged. Their effects upon soft targets will be considered first. Wooden boxes containing different materials and types of soil were attacked with single shots. Firstly, earth, then chalky soil, and also an earth and gravel mixture. All these boxes had plywood partitions at 100mm intervals. Finally, pine boards, 10mm thick and stacked to a depth of 600mm, were fired at. After firing, they were all examined. In the case of earth only, both SA-80 and 7.62 had penetrated to a depth of 100mm. 5.45 had not even penetrated that far. To recap, 5.45 achieved some penetration. 5.56 reached 100mm, as did 7.62. As far as chalky soil was concerned, all ammunitions reached 100mm, but none managed to penetrate to 200mm. Against the earth and gravel mixture, 7.62 achieved the depth of 200mm, whilst SA-80 reached 100mm but did not penetrate the plywood partition. Once again, Soviet 5.45 failed to reach 100mm. To confirm then, 5.45 did not reach 100mm. 5.56 achieved the depth of 100mm, and 7.62 reached 200mm. Finally, the pine boards were examined, and it was found that 7.62 had gone through 520mm worth of board, and SA-80 and 5.45 both reached 350mm. In summary, during trials against soft targets, it appears that 5.45 has the least penetration power, failing to penetrate to 100 mm when fired at both earth and the earth-gravel mixture. SAA-80 fared much better, achieving 100 mm penetration against earth and chalky soil, whilst reaching 100 mm but not penetrating the partition against the earth-gravel mixture. It also reached 350 mm when fired at the pine boards. 7.62 produced the best results against the earth-gravel mixture and the pine boards. Considering that SAA-80 is a small and light round, it has significant penetration power in relation to the size and weight of 7.62. Next, SAA-80 was fired at a number of modern man-made building materials. Materials were selected that represent likely cover and targets for soldiers on both the rural and urban battlefield. The first form of cover to be attacked was a steel plate 12 mm thick. SAA-80 and 5.45 fired single rounds at the plate, and there was no penetration. However, on concentrated automatic fire, SAA-80 achieved a degree of penetration. You can clearly see the bulges on the rear of the plate along with the shot holes. In tests, 7.62 achieved comparable results with SAA-80. In other trials and tests, 5.45 achieved no penetration on single or automatic fire. 5.56 penetrated when fired in bursts. Also in other trials, 7.62 fired from the GPMG has achieved similar results. Next, the capabilities of SAA-80 were considered against concrete blocks. The blocks are 95 mm thick. This is the effect of SAA-80 when fired in bursts. When compared with the other ammunitions, firing single shots, the results were as follows. With 5.45 and SAA-80, a single round penetrated to a depth of 50 mm. 7.62 achieved slightly better penetration with 65 mm. A number of low brick walls were also engaged by SAA-80. A wall 1 brick thick was engaged with rapid single shots. The bricks are 100 mm thick. It was quickly penetrated. Next, a cavity wall, brick, space, and a second brick. Single shots quickly penetrated and would have gone on to destroy the second brick. Bursts easily penetrated, the second burst going through the second brick. Concentrated bursts soon demolished the wall. In comparison, the following results were observed when firing a single round at brickwork. 5.45 on average managed to reach a depth of 50 mm. SSA-80 achieved the best results penetrating to 75 mm. SAA-80 never penetrated less than 70 mm. 7.62 penetrated to 55 mm. The last of the building materials to be engaged was a building constructed of lightweight insulating blocks. Each block is 210 mm thick. Single rounds of SAA-80 quickly penetrated. Now bursts. When compared with 5.45 and 7.62, the results were: with 5.45, a single round penetrated to 120 mm. Subsequent shots achieved isolated penetration. SAA-80 achieved 140 mm, and subsequent shots in the same area penetrated completely. Bursts penetrated after the third round. 7.62, a single round completely penetrated. In summary, it can be seen that against hard types of cover, Soviet 5.45 comes off the worst. No penetration of the steel plate, 50 mm of penetration against concrete and brickwork, and a depth of 120 mm against lightweight concrete. SAA-80 performed better, penetrating the steel plate and 50 mm of concrete. However, it achieved the best results of all ammunitions against brickwork, with 75 mm. 140 mm was achieved against lightweight concrete. 7.62, considering its size and weight, did not produce significantly better results than SAA-80. It too penetrated the steel plate and also reached 60 mm against the concrete block. However, it could not match SAA-80's performance against brickwork. Against the less dense concrete insulating block, it completely penetrated with a single round. Both theoretical and other practical trials carried out at the School of Infantry have demonstrated that SAA-80 at battle ranges up to 800 metres has equal, if not greater penetration power than 7.62 against hard targets. It should also be noted that SAA-80 fired in rapid single shots penetrated as quickly as burst fire. This was particularly noticeable against walls. Before concluding, the effectiveness of SAA-80 to penetrate sandbags and trees should be illustrated. Because of the nature of the cover, no detailed depths of penetration are available. However, the effects of SAA-80 are clearly seen. A single wall of sandbags were engaged first by SAA-80 and then 7.62, with single shots followed by bursts. Neither penetrated on single shots. However, with bursts, about half the SAA-80 rounds penetrated. A tree trunk, some 280 mm thick, was engaged with rapid single shots. Firstly by SAA-80 and then AKS-74. Neither penetrated when fired in single shots. However, half the SAA-80 rounds penetrated when fired in bursts. Not only had wood been chipped away from the rear of the trunk, but witness screens placed behind had shot holes and a large number of splinters in them. The conclusion of this particular trial was to attack two buildings with SAA-80, one of the concrete block and the other of double brick construction. The effects and capability of SAA-80 to penetrate are clearly visible. In general, it was found that SAA-80 firing rapid single shots had just as good penetration effects as bursts. This was due to the increased accuracy of the weapon, concentrating fire into a tight group. Trials have shown that the LSW firing concentrated bursts penetrated concrete and brick as fast as GPMG firing bursts. Both theoretical and practical trials demonstrate that 5.56 SAA-80 is as lethal as 7.62 at battle ranges and has equal, if not greater, penetration against hard cover. Soviet 5.45 ammunition has less penetration than either 7.62 or SAA-80. However, one tactical lesson to be learnt from this is that all types of cover will eventually be penetrated by small arms fire. Selection of the correct cover and concealment continue to be vital skills to master. SAA-80 has proven to be a most effective round. It possesses good penetration qualities as well as remaining light and compact. Since SAA-80 is half the weight of 7.62, it represents a significant increase in the firepower of the infantry.